Moving now to the site that has seen many championships decided, Manila. UK ball on pole from Tommy and Dav Sanchez, then it's Oscar Folstad, David Cano, and championship leader Revo. Babinus Jr. starts 7th from Jack Carter and Sebastian Ocampo. Then it's T. Gabo and Okyui. CC in 12th, followed by teammate Jonathan Sims and Leo. Bastian Tan starts 15th from Denel Bogdasarov, Santino Milan, and the winningest driver around this circuit, Akari Lopez. Then it's P. Sierra, Lewis Olsen, Cosmos, and Miguel de Souza. Well then, after adding the Abruzzi Prix alongside Lagos, so many Philippine drivers come here expecting to win. All 5 lights go on, and we go green for the Manila Prix. What a start from Tommy! From second on the grid, UK ball covering him off, and that's pushed him down to 3rd with one of the many Philippine drivers trying to get past him. Sanchez having to be shuffled down to 3rd himself. Falstad to try and take P4. He's going to have the outside line coming into turn number 5. There goes Dav Sanchez into 2nd position. Bastian down, another home driver. He's got himself a 5-second time penalty. This is the man currently 5th in the world driver standings. I'll remind you once again, you've got 5 drivers currently in contention of the World Drivers' Championship, and the man who currently leads the C3, defending with all he's got against Tommy, is the man currently in 4th position in the World Drivers' Standings UK ball, and he's currently leading the C3, going for win number 3. It's weird that the men's currently 2nd. No, it's just the man who leads the championship, Revo. He's not a multiple-time winner this season. He's only won a single race, and he's looking to try and win the championship on consistency alone. This is going to give us an amazing finish. T. Gabo's gone off. Gabo has hit the wall. He's facing the wrong direction. And both Aurelio Pinnacle men coming through this part of the track, and probably a little visibly confused as Cosmos bumps into him as well. Yellow's in the 3rd sector, still out there. Track's been cleared, and I'm just trying to look for who else was involved in that. I would wager probably CC. Yes, CC has been noted for causing a collision as Gabo comes into the pits. Attack mode is officially online on lap 2 of 14. With Tommy trying to gain on UK ball, he's dropping Dav Sanchez. And Tommy, look at him. He was under 2/10 of a second away. He's going to get another helping of attack mode. He's going to try and get it into the final sector. He's going to need a lot of slipstream, and that's exactly what he's getting. So coming through this long left-hander, he's not quite close enough. In fact, he might actually be getting further away from the Braun Honda man, because look at that, Dav Sanchez is closed, Camno's closed, the entire pack is closed up in the back of him. Babinus Jr. doing a splendid job in 5th, but I want to direct our attention to Jonathan Sims. Started 13th up to 7th. He had a monster opening lap, and he's currently defending the season 14 champion, who lost season 15 in this exact location. Revo setting a fast lap of 114.366. as he is currently set to hold on to the championship lead. I do believe, I'm just working this out in my head, the current championship standings would be Revo, UK Ball, Carter, Folstad, and Bastian Tan, your top 5, because UK Ball is currently out there leading the C3. He would get himself quite a ways up the order, but still defending quite well from Tommy, considering how much of a power boost attack mode gives you. And speaking of power boosts, our fan boost vote is officially still open. You can hit the link in the comments down below and the description to vote for one of your favorite drivers. For example, Tommy, who's having a brilliant battle over second position alongside Dav Sanchez going through these turns. You've got a Hong Kong man versus a Philippine driver here in the capital city of the Philippines. Brilliant island nation. Well, it's an archipelago, actually, as we look to Babinus Jr. in the number 14 for DS Venturi Formula E. And he's defending the factory DS, his automobile car as well. That's the thing we're seeing today. We rarely ever see factory teams being outperformed by customer teams, as Jonathan Sims has been passed by Sebastian Ocampo. So he's dropped to 8th, but still, this is a brilliant showing. It's been a brilliant season for Sims Motorsport, pretty much. As further up the order, David Camino, look at that slingshot. We missed the pass itself, but the top 3 has changed once again. Tommy's dropped to P4. Camino finds his way up into P2, and Dav Sanchez is currently in 3rd, trying to defend from these guys. And I think as we've got a current Braun Honda 1-2, we might see the lead switch hands coming through this turn, but not quite. Cable's just getting a brilliant entry, and his entry is compromising his teammates, and in turn that compromises everyone else behind us. Down the inside goes Dav Sanchez, almost contact there. He's found his way up into 2nd. Brilliant move from the number 72 driver, the most experienced Philippine driver in formerly Monopoly Championship history. They go side by side, heading down into turn 1 as Sanchez does his best to hold on to 1st. Revo actually in this fight as well. He's found his way up into 5th, and he's going to try and get himself into the podium positions because Badness Jr. currently up in 3rd, but Revo looking to try and go around the outside of the guys ahead of him as down the inside they both go. Camino gets relegated to P4. P5 now if Revo can just hold on. He's not going to be able to get a slipstream. There's a DRS train alongside him. An attack mode train rather. Badness Jr. trying to take 2nd. Revo trying to follow him through into 3rd. Sends one down the inside. Up into 3rd against the reigning double champion. But still Sanchez alongside him. He went very deep through that chicane, and that's cost him quite possibly the podium for the Andretti Honda driver. It's Cable from Badness Jr. from Dav Sanchez, who's still fighting with Revo, the man currently in 4th. Tommy is 5th, and David Camino is in 6th. Sims has dropped to P9, by the way. As down the inside goes Revo. He's having to take some really odd lines to try and defend, and I'm not too sure if there's a setup issue with that DS Automobile car, but it just doesn't look as planted in the experienced hands of Revo. As into the pits comes Tommy and Jonathan Sims, so that's 4th place for Revo now, as he now chases after the race leaders. I guess he is part of them, but look at PCR. I'm just going to draw our attention to further down the order on the timing tower as we look to Revo still fighting with Dav Sanchez over 3rd. We're approaching half race distance here in race 11 of season 18 as here comes Revo, draws level further back. Ocampo doing the same thing. One Andretti loses a position, the other gains one. Revo to P3, Ocampo to 5th as Cosmos is coming to the pits for his first stop. And I do believe that this might be a 2-stopper. This could very easily be a 1-stopper. For the hard tire guys, this is definitely a 1-stopper. So keep your eyes on the race, because you've got no clue how it's going to end until it does. As we look at Badness Jr. currently in 2nd, and you can see his soft tires beginning to give way in the traction department, because you will struggle a little bit with traction the more you drive on the tires without pitting. Cable comes in, Ocampo's staying out, Sanchez and Revo have all come in, so Badness Jr. for more than the 2nd time this season, he's leading this Prix, and the rookies had a standout rookie season. It's not been on the level of, say, Sebastian Ocampo, because that season feels statistically impossible, but it happened back in season 13 as we look to David Camino getting past Ocampo. No tire problems for the Andretti Honda man, thankfully, because that's been the nail in his title hopes for this season. But on board with him, he's going to get attack mode here on David Camino, but he's not going to be able to attack him. He might be, Carter's too far back. We might see fight happening for the lead. 2 tenths, 4 tenths, it's opening up in a way that Camino would probably prefer not to. Half a second's the gap between the 2 men leading this Prix and Badness Jr. and David Camino. A lot of weaving from the Venturi driver ahead. As we look now to an Ocui defending from Daniel Bogdasarov, and behind in Oscar Folstad. Cable, by the way, he came out of the pits in 9th with Sanchez in 10th and Tommy 11th. Look at Revo doing all he can to defend from Jonathan Sims. They pitted on the same lap roundabout. That's how close everything was. Volstad currently leads the way from a not QE. Your top two, because many drivers coming into the pits. Revo looking for a move on Tommy, going down into turn 1. He's too far back, and he's still going to try and make it work. He's still side by side coming into turn 3, and through 4 they now go, heading into the heavy braking point of turn 5. I think Revo might actually have this position, and Jonathan Sims following him through. Revo to P5. He's going to have attack mode. He's not going to have slipstream like the two men behind him, as somehow Tommy, with attack mode, gets ahead of Jonathan Sims. They tell us that attack mode's just Mario Kart mode, that we don't need it for good racing. But I'm telling you, so often, it does provide some damn brilliant racing as an RQE. Oh my goodness! UK Balls in the lead of the E-Prix! He's just swooped them down the straight with attack mode. I was just talking about how brilliant attack mode can be. And RQE sends one down the inside, almost collides with Oscar Volstad, almost collects him in a bit of an incident through that final twisty sector. But they're still alongside each other, and they might want to pit pretty soon. Into the pits comes an RQE, probably for a change of underwear. As we're on to lap 9 of 14, 5 laps to go here in Manila in the Philippines. UK Ball going for his 3rd win of the season. Volstad going for yet another podium this season. Sanchez going for 3rd at his home race, and Revo trying to steal the podium away from the Andretti Honda man. As here they go onto one of the longest straights of the calendar, beaten only by Las Vegas. As T. Gabo coming into the pits. Here comes Daf Sanchez. There goes Daf Sanchez up into 2nd at his home event. As Revo looking to try and do something similar, except he's going to have a much longer turn to do it in. As Volstad's dropped to 5th here. Revo has found himself up into 3rd. I don't know what's going on with the DS McLaren TGR man's car, but it doesn't seem to be positive in any stretch of the word. We look to Revo, still in 3rd, further back, David Camno alongside with Jonathan Sims. No, he's fighting with Bamness Jr. Thought he was alongside with Sims, but you can see Bamness Jr. getting past Volstad as well. He's on the outside. Can he make the move stick? Almost, he's still with him as they begin lap 10. They're going to go into turn 1. Here comes David Camino. Look at that, steamrolling down the inside up into 6th. And something tells me that Volstad's hard tyres might have outstayed their welcome. Similar feelings being shared at Aurelio Pinnacle and Dragon Renault, because both of their drivers have come in. I believe the strategy that McLaren are trying to go for here is go as long as possible on their first stint, because they know they're going to put on soft tyres immediately after. They've done 10 laps on these hard tyres, and I feel like that might just be 10 laps too many. Camno's got himself a time penalty for colliding with the back of Babinets Jr. Revo closing in on Daf Sanchez. He's doing his absolute best to try and take 2nd away from the home man. He's going to look for the inside. Can he do it? Not quite. He's dropped off quite a bit. He might be able to stay alongside him. This is the kind of driving you would expect from the double champion. As you can see, the 2 Venturis behind him smell blood like 2 silver ravens. And they're still with him. That's how close the field is. There goes Tommy, holding on to 4th position ahead of his teammate Babinets Jr. On to lap 11 of 14 they go. Can Babinets Jr. hold on to 5th, or will Camno get past? Volstad finally comes into the pits on lap 11 of 14. He's going on to soft tyres, so say the guys down at McLaren. And yes, he is going on to the soft red wall tyres, but you can still, it's brilliant racing for 2nd. UK Ball was pulled away, checked out of the T3, 3.6 seconds ahead. Here comes Revo. He's going to have attack mode coming into the chicane. It's going to be late braking, last of the late breakers. That's not exactly Revo's game all the time, and you can see he fell a little bit out of his depth with that attempt of an overtake. He's got 3 laps and a multitude more opportunities to do it. Look at this, look at that. It's a It's a 5-way fight for second, of which Revo currently leads. Inocui getting a time penalty further back for colliding with the back of Daniel Bogdasarov, but Revo still heading this back for second. Kamino sends one down the inside to try and make it a double podium for the... And into the wall, out of the race goes the home driver. Into the back of him as well has gone Bastian Tan. Jonathan Sims has lost part of his front wing, colliding with the Andretti car. There's front wing debris still on the track. And they're just piling up down there. They cannot turn. And my goodness me, Inocui also out of the Prix. Virtual safety car's going to be out there for a while. Drivers coming in to make a second stop. A Kari home driver also into the wall as well. Volstad going through there. They've cleared the front wing end plate, and that's taken out Inocui and ruined the races of many other drivers. Sims coming out of the pits now, and it was his front wing out end plate that caused all of this. We go back racing. Only a handful more laps to go. It's Cable who leads from Revo and David Camino. The top three, they've all driven alongside in Cable, whether that be now or in the past, or potentially even in the future. And there are rumors swirling about Sebastian Ocampo moving to DS Automobiles, as moving ahead of a DS Automobiles car. That's David Camino up into second position ahead of Revo, and he's made that overtake look easy. It's a 1-2 for Braun Honda GP, and you would expect, at least for Daf Sanchez, he would have wanted to be up there fighting, but of course, mistakes do happen in this championship. The champion is usually decided by the man who makes the least mistakes, and I think Jack Carter's probably going to have to learn that the hard way this season, as onto the penultimate lap we go. Carter's the man who's won the most races out of anyone currently, and he's still second in the championship, and he's looking to potentially even drop down to third, despite him winning the most. And the question about that is why, as CC comes into pit lane for his final stop, unless he gets a puncture. But it's hopefully going to be a brilliant finish, showstopper for Braun Honda GP. The only team, well, the only powertrain that has won without DS Automobiles. A non-DS Automobiles powertrain, I have to word my things better. The only one that's done that has been the Honda powertrain. All the others have not won a race apart from DS Automobiles. And speaking of DS Automobiles, on the penultimate lap, side by side they go into the final sector as Revo reclaims second position on the podium. And a boost, 3 points more. That's the gap between second and third, but it's 7 points between first and second. My goodness, look at that! Into the wall goes David Camino! Oh, they were fighting very rough there, and push came to shove, and now Camino's lost half of his front wing. He's not going to peel into the pits on the final lap of the Prix, and it's a final lap where Revo's going to hold on to second with the fastest lap. It's going to allow him to hold on to the championship lead. Jack Carter's currently in fourth, but he's got a champion behind him, and a man who's made multiple champions fearful in front of him. Ocampo setting a fastest first sector of anyone, as Revo trying to chase down Cable, but it is way too late. Jonathan Sims setting a fastest first sector of anyone, as here comes Jack Carter on David Camino, denying a double podium for Braun Honda GP, and instead making it a double podium for DS Automobiles. Sebastian Ocampo looking for a way to get past him. You're going to want to keep your eyes on the timing tower in case someone tries to make the move with attack mode. A man who hasn't needed attack mode all race is Paul Sitter. The man who won the Season 10 championship driving for Nissan Edams. The man who's looking for a double championship like his first teammate all those seasons before, last season and 16 as well. He's going to round the final two turns. Cable seeps into the history books. Cable wins the Manila Prix. Revo comes home with a show-stopping second. Carter's third. Camino's going to be fifth, we believe, at the very best. Bastian Town stealing the fastest lap of 1:12.633. Tommy got a 5-second time penalty at the very end there. Sims is in 8th As you can see, side by side go Bogdasarov and Akari. Akari really just fighting for chumps change here. And he's going to be holding on to 16th because there's not too much else he can do. Fastest lap going to CC. Any other fastest laps being set? We hope so. The only man who can set one currently is T Gabo, who rounds the final turn. Let's take a look. Is it a new fastest lap of the E3? No, it's not. CC has taken the fastest lap. This is the podium. Ucable wins the Manila E3, a race that has only been won by formerly Monopoly champions. Following up him, it's Revo in second, then Jack Carter in third position. Sebastiano Campos fourth from David Camino and Jonathan Sims. Then it's Sebastian Tan, Tommy the top 8. Then it's Bagnus Jr. and Folstad the top 10. Outside of the points, you have P. Sierra, Santino Milan, Miguel de Souza, Leo, ZZ, Akari Lopez, Daniel Bogdasarov, Lewis Olsen, still yet to score any points in his career. Cosmos, T. Gabo, the top 20, and your finishers. Your non-finishers being the home driver, well, one of the many home drivers in Daf Sanchez and Enoch Ewing. In the driver's standings, Revo leads the way on 139 points from Jack Carter on 131. 15 points back is Ucable. That's a third position, and a further 10 points back is Oscar Folstad. Sebastian Tan is fifth from Daf Sanchez, Bagnus Jr. and Sebastian Ocampo. Then it's David Camino, Santino Milan, Tommy, Miguel de Souza, Jonathan Sims, CC, P. Sierra, Cosmos, the top 16 with Enoch-Huey, Akari Lopez, T. Gabo, Leo, and Daniel Bogdasarov being the rest of your scorers throughout the season. Your non-point scorer after 11 rounds is Lewis Olsen. In the constructors' standings heading into race 12 of the FEMC, DS Automobiles leads the way on 270 points, Then it's DS McLaren TGR on 201. Braun Honda GPR on 164 points. Then it's Andretti Honda and DS Venturi from the E-Team. Nissan Nismo are in 6th from Sims Motorsport, Nissan and Aurelio Mahindra. Then it's Dragon Renault, Aurelio Pinnacle, and Virgin Renault. We'll see you guys next time then when the Formula E Monopoly Championship returns.